Some personal Kool-Aid. Some super intelligence Kool-Aid.
I want to talk about our new effort, Meta Superintelligence Labs, and our vision to build personal superintelligence for everyone. AI keeps accelerating, and over the past few months, we've begun to see glimpses of AI systems improving themselves. So developing superintelligence is now in sight. But there's this big open question about what we should direct superintelligence towards. A lot has been written about the scientific and economic advances that AI can bring, and I'm really optimistic about this. But I think an even more meaningful impact in our lives is going to come from everyone having a personal superintelligence that helps you achieve your goals, create what you want to see in the world, be a better friend, and grow to become the person that you aspire to be. This vision is different from others in the industry who want to direct AI at automating all of the valuable work. At Meta, we believe in putting the power of superintelligence in people's hands to direct it towards what they value in their own lives. Some of this will be about improving productivity, but a lot of it may be more personal in nature. This is going to be a new era in some ways, but in others, it's just a continuation of historical trends. About 200 years ago, 90% of people were farmers growing food to survive.
Oh, please.
Today, fewer than 2% grow all of our food. Advances in technology have freed much of humanity to focus less on subsistence and more on the pursuits that we choose.
And we're slaves to technology.
And at each step along the way, most people have decided to use their newfound productivity to spend more time on creativity, culture, relationships, and just enjoying life. And I expect superintelligence to accelerate this trend even more. The intersection of technology and culture is where Meta focuses, and this will only become more important over time. If trends continue, I expect that people will spend less time on productivity software and more time creating and connecting. I think that personal devices like glasses that can see what we see, hear what we hear, and interact with us throughout the day are going to become our main computing devices. I believe deeply in building personal superintelligence for everyone.
I can't wait.
And at Meta, we have the resources to build the massive infrastructure required and the ability to deliver new technology to billions of people. I'm excited to build this future, and we've got a lot more to come soon.
Oh yeah, you got a lot more, all right. Yeah, do you trust that guy? Do you trust Zuckerberg? He looks like your older brother, so trustworthy. But look at what he's done with Facebook. Look at all the data harvesting. Look at all the suicides, digital harassment caused by Facebook. People feeling like they have to compete against the contrived worlds of other Facebook users, you know, just making up this whole facade about how great their lives are. I mean, Facebook has done a lot of damage. And thank God I'm not on it. I've never used it. So, oh yeah, like we should trust Zuckerberg. Please. So you have to ask yourselves, where will this expanding crapification of society lead us? Where will it lead us now that the AI action plan has been signed by Mr. T, and now that the tech bros can expand AI any way they want? Well, where I see this going is that society will become a technocracy. And I'm looking it up right now. And a technocracy is the government or control of society or industry by an elite of technical experts. So, you can see that coming. I mean, AI stocks are pretty much driving the entire stock market. It's going to all-time highs. Everybody's in love with AI. AI can do no wrong. Let's go full speed. And yet nobody's really thinking ahead. So that's where we're heading, a technocracy. Sort of like what I remember in the movie Rollerball. The 1970s version, that is, not the remake. So I suggest that you watch the 1970s version of Rollerball and some of the other futuristic movies that were popular during that time, because they all seem to know what would come with this unfettered use of technology. And back then they actually had a caveat of unleashing these technologies, but that doesn't appear to be the case anymore. So I guess I'll end the crapification video with, you know, what I see coming, and unfortunately it's not very good unless they have saner heads in Washington, D.C. that will put some guardrails on big tech. I don't see any indication of that, but I can only pray, and as I said, I give it to God, because who knows where this is going. Until next time. Yeah, you see the crapification of society evidenced in just the media's, you know, how they're kind of conditioning us to accept violence and almost normalize killing people as a blood sport. I mean, they have Yellow Jackets and other movies, and now you're to the point where somebody gets attacked, such as in Cincinnati. People are actually filming it. Mobs of people. They grab their cell phones, and rather than call 911, they simply film it. So that's the first stages of creating a blood sport out of crime and murdering people. And it's just slowly happening, step by step. And before you know it, it will be sponsored in time. They will find a way. They will first say, well, let's do it to criminals. Let's take the prison population. And they will slowly normalize it and make it into a reality show. You just watch. That's what I see coming, especially with this AI and this dystopian reality that we're slipping into. The isolation of people, and now, you know, AI is going to create a super intelligent companion for you. You will never be lonely. You'll have your AI bot. And there's just so many disturbed people out there that they'll adopt that. So I see that will be coming, probably in my lifetime, and all just brought to you by a baby boomer who drank the Kool-Aid, the tech bro Kool-Aid. It will be accelerated. So just pay attention and be prepared. And I suggest you be prepared spiritually, especially, and don't get sucked into this. And like I said, give it to God and do a lot of praying. Pray for humanity. Hopefully there will be sense injected into this, because right now it doesn't look like there is. So again, until next time. Ooh, it's basically what I'm gonna say, because it is a horror story that's emerging. Ooh. So until next time. Got to get the creaking door. Why would they have movies like The Purge? And why was The Purge a multi-part series of movies? I mean, The Purge was one of the most disturbing movie series that I've ever seen, and I couldn't see them. I just couldn't. I saw a snippet or two, but I couldn't watch it. So it's just like watching American Psycho. I could not finish that movie. It was so disturbing. But why do they have these movies? It's because fiction mirrors reality in some respect. Fiction might not be happening now, but it will in the future. And I can see something like The Purge even coming to fruition. Just the way society is going. And it will all be sponsored by the super wealthy. Because one thing that I have noticed about a lot of wealthy people is that some of them are really screwed up in the head. Just because I went to a school that included a lot of wealthy people and actually went to the East Coast on this program where we took a bus and it was just a few of the poor people like myself, just middle class, and most of them were very wealthy. And the very wealthy kids, they were nice, but they had some of them had really big problems. They had problems with drugs, they were disillusioned, they were depressed. And really, when you have everything you want, well, it messes with your head, because what else is there if you have everything you want? And then a lot of times your parents aren't around. The parents substitute parenting with things. You get a credit card that you can use however you want. You get whatever you want. So while us poor people aspire, well, we're going to get a good job, we're going to go to college, and we're going to start a small business. There's always more that we aspire to. But for somebody who's got everything, I don't see, unless they are raised correctly, I think some of them just see a big void. So then you get these people that don't care, and they figure, what the F, So there's, they see the drugs and they almost live in their own dystopia. So of course you're going to see people running these big companies, and they get so much money and they get messed up in the head, so then they're creating all the policies, and they have these visions for the rest of us, and to just give these people the full reins of creating society that is very dangerous, and it's just not fair. So I just think that a lot of people don't see what's coming. But I guess because I read a lot of books, I've read a lot of science fiction, I've have parents that read a lot, we discuss these things, so I kind of see, based on what I've read, what could be coming, unfortunately. And other people, especially Joe Allen, he basically sees the same thing because he's read a lot of things and he's made himself an expert in this subject, in the subject of AI and transhumanism. So I kind of see where it's going, and hopefully I'm wrong. I'm hoping that saner heads prevail. So we'll just have to see. So as AI technology advances, especially superintelligence, where does that bring us? It helps to automate things and take over a lot of tasks that we currently perform. And as that starts to happen, we become lazier. And once we become lazier, we don't think to the capacity that we need to think, given that technology is accelerating at a rapid pace, and it's becoming more and more rapid. And now we need to think more than ever. But our thinking capabilities are becoming lost as we get lazier because of the technology. It's like a circular thing, a circular process. So, as an example of us becoming lazier, we have the navigation systems, so a lot of people can no longer find their way around. They need maps, or they can't even read a map, let's say. So with navigation systems, people can no longer read maps. People can no longer write in most cases, because now we're typing all the time. So we lose that special connection with a writing device. And I think just by losing that, there's more that's been lost that we don't even realize. And then the other thing is with the cell phones and tablets and whatnot, we have lost our interest and ability to read a physical book. I really don't think a digital book has the same impact as a physical book. So we lose a lot of the in-depth knowledge that you get from reading a full book. So with this AI, it's only going to accelerate. We're going to become even lazier, and then we're going to rely on a certain portal of information, and the portal itself will definitely be manipulated to omit content that the rulers don't agree with. So just like in 2020, when certain individuals were blocked from social media, that will happen again, because we will be so reliant on AI to tell us how to think. We will become like cattle. And basically, you know what happened to cattle. So I think that's what people don't realize. They want to jump right into AI, and even in my professional certification organization, I'm told that if I don't embrace AI, I will become irrelevant. My profession will become irrelevant unless we embrace AI. And there's been courses on that, and they say, oh, we'll try this and try that, and they spend more time in the course telling us to try this and try that, and then give us a little caveat on how, oh, but by the way, you can't trust this, you have to check it and double check it. So that just gets to my point. Why do I want to rush into AI when it hasn't been fully tested, and what the big tech industry is doing is dumping it on us and then making it our job to test it for them. So we're spending just as much time trying it and testing it than if they would wait until there's been enough time for them to fully test it, and then for us to have a dialogue on what we as a society wants. So the whole process is backwards, and it's very dangerous that everybody's just drinking the Kool-Aid in mass, like this big Kool-Aid party. So that is a big problem. We're going to have so many brainwashed people and so many people that can't perform simple tasks unless they have their little AI device with them. And all I can see is just dystopia. And as an individual, I'm not going to jump full into AI. I'm going to look at some of the capabilities it has for me today, such as providing me help in coding, like Visual Basic, SQL, just simple things, simple macros that I could use to simplify my job. But at the same time, I want to know how it works. I want to know how to write that code. I don't want to rely on some bot to tell me how to think, to tell me how to write. I might use AI to give me like if I'm stuck on something, maybe it could give me a clue, but I'm not going to have AI tell me how to think, and I can come with my own ideas, though I could see AI could help a little with that. But I don't want to be on the slippery slope of becoming stupid, just like I don't use navigation systems for everything. I might use a navigation system if I'm going downtown Cleveland or something. I've never been to this place, because you have to pretty much know where you're going or else you get run off the road type of thing. So for that, and then and I don't want to be at the point where I can't even remember a phone number, because that happens to a lot of people, where they rely on their cell phone so much that they can no longer remember the phone number of who they're trying to call. So I at least try to remember the phone number of important people in case my cell phone breaks or the battery runs out. I want to know that phone number in case I need to use somebody else's phone. But so many people are so dependent on these devices, and that is precisely what's going to happen with AI. People are going to become so dependent on AI to do basic things. And then, let's say the power goes out. Well, then it'll be almost like these people, these robots, these brainwashed people will almost be like the robots plugged into an outlet, and then once the power's out, they'll just collapse. I mean, it's just so preposterous to think that society and that a president of the United States would be so suckered into this Kool-Aid that these big tech guys are serving up. I mean, it just boggles my mind, and I'm still shocked by what Mr. T did last week in this whole AI action plan debacle, this action plan scam that he's foisting upon the entire United States population. It just boggles my mind. So all I can wonder is if was Mr. T kind of a Trojan horse? Was he just telling everybody he's for the working person and that he was going to save jobs? I mean, he can't be that stupid to think that adopting this AI technology is not going to kill millions of jobs and then just totally disrupt the society. So do they have like a basic income program that will be coming down the pipeline, guaranteed basic income. So it's just mind-boggling is all I can say. So every time I turn this off, I think of something else. But we're just running into a society where you think people are stupid now. They're just going to be, like I said, robots plugged into a wall. All thought comes from their little box. And the way it sounds that AI is going, it'll be sooner than later. So I listened to Jack Gamble on Nobody's Special Finance, and he kind of dismisses AI. He thinks it's just for making recipes and stuff, but from what I'm hearing is that AI is bigger than that, and that's why they're pumping so much money into it, and so many data centers are being constructed. And Zuckerberg just comparing this with the farmers. He's just selling a whole bill of goods, and it's such a scam on society that people are just not going to know what's hit them. People just think, they're going to have a personal robot and all's going to be hunk-dory. But no, you don't know what they have in mind for us. And all I can say is that it just sounds very dark. And I wouldn't even put it past them that if they know people are going to be out of work, they know people are going to be hurting, so why not just legalize a bunch of hard drugs and just let us kill ourselves? Why not legalize, federalize assisted suicide? I could see the government, and I might be wrong, hopefully I'm wrong, but I could see the government implementing these types of programs because the powers that be are just letting all these violent shows air on TV, and you have to be an idiot to not think that this gets internalized in your head, and that society becomes more violent. So I just think it could be part of a broader plan by design. I don't know. Again, I read a lot of science fiction, so hopefully I'm wrong, but I see the dark side of people, and I kind of am wondering about Mr. T, if he's as caring about people as people this MAGA group thinks he is. I just think he's more in bed with big tech and Wall Street, just like all of Washington. That's been my philosophy, my take, and I'm more of a cynic. I've always been a cynic. So we're in dangerous times. We're going to be entering a lot of dark times unless people wake up, unless there's divine providence. I don't know. But that's another thought. Yeah, when I think about all this AI and people just implementing this tool and not thinking ahead and just seeing where it grows, and then figuring out the problems, how to solve the problems later because they haven't identified the problems, it just makes me want to say what I've always said for a long, long time, is that out of all life forms on this planet, I think people are the dumbest life form, because we are the only ones that create systems and processes and technology where we ultimately kill ourselves. We crap in our own cat box, as you will. We are the only species of life that craps in our own cat box. So where this takes us, we don't know, but I have a feeling that in the end, humans will suffer, and the creators of this technology, they will meet something that they've never anticipated. Yeah, that maybe they'll try to live forever, but there will be other penalties for trying to be God. Because I ultimately think there is a God, and I think God will say enough is enough. I mean, you read the Old Testament, you read the New Testament, and especially the book of Revelations. And I'm not overly religious, and if I was, who cares? But I think that there's an ultimate maker out there, and God will just say enough is enough. But again, dumbest life form on earth is Homo sapiens, because we just, maybe we're driven by greed, we're driven by ambition, and we don't know when to stop. We just figure we gotta grow. We gotta take everything over. We gotta develop bombs that could blow up the entire planet. So I don't know what else to say. So again, until next time. And there'll be a next time and a next time, because I always come up with new stuff. So please give me your comments and let me know where you think this is all heading. Do you think it's a good idea? Or do you have more of a pessimistic view about it? Just let me know, and please subscribe, and I will try to get more content out there.